Peace, y'all. Tia Banks here. There are some amazing educators in this world. And then there are those educators that play the blame game. They blame the economy. They blame the political climate. Their blame is just an excuse to settle for less. I've played that game before. Before I became a speaker and before I owned my own company, I worked in corporate America. When I had 10 plus years in the game, you couldn't tell me anything. We're talking about giving me a scorecard. I should exceed the expectation. I'm just entitled. I have this entitlement when you've been around for so long, like you feel like you just showing up. That's more than enough. You still have to earn your recognition. Showing up isn't enough. But I had that entitlement. I'll never forget. It was the end of the year. My boss took me into an office and he went over my scorecard, my annual evaluation, and that affects your money. That affects your bonus. And I'm like, exceeds expectation. He said, no, you just met the expectation. I'm like, what? I made my calls, I booked the deals, I did what I was supposed to do. He says, exactly. You did what you were supposed to do. You didn't do anything more than that. That was a slap in my face. So when I'm going home and I'm talking to my friends and I'm telling my family, I'm like, yeah, they gave me a meets expectations. I should have got exceeds. I was blaming the system. I was blaming their scorecard. I wasn't taking accountability and ownership of what I could do. It wasn't until my cousin said, well, Tia, was there anything that you really did that actually went above and beyond, because that's what exceeds expectations is. And I thought about it. I had to take a hard look in the mirror. And the answer to that was no. I deserved exactly what I got. When I decided to stop lying to myself and come to the conclusion that there is more that I can do. I could show up not just on time, but maybe 15 minutes earlier. There are some project ideas that I have. Maybe I can start implementing that. I've been in this role for so long. I have so much knowledge. Maybe I should start mentoring new employees. I started creating initiatives. I started training. I joined different committees to create psychological safe spaces. I was doing more than what the job description said. I took initiative. I stopped placing blame. My mentor, Jeremy Anderson, he calls this control the controllables. You can't control the funding freezes. You can't control the budget cuts. Sometimes you can't even control how students act in your class. Put that mirror up. What can you control so that you can stop placing blame? Start taking ownership. Own your journey. What can you do? You have been in education for so long. Don't just sit there and ride it out until retirement. Be willing to go to conferences so that you can expand your AI knowledge and teach students and reach students differently. Because if we're being honest, the students this year are a lot different than the students last year, a lot different than the students before 2020. The students are different. You got to find different ways to reach these students. You have to be willing to change. You have to be willing to take ownership and control what you can control. We talk about owning your journey. My niece, she knows this better than anybody. My niece is 17. She's going on 18. My niece texted me. She said, Nanny, can you cash at me $10 so that I can order some Wingstop? I'm looking at my phone like, I love that she will take initiative for some money, for some food, for a ride. Girl, make sure you keep that same energy when it comes to applying for colleges and scholarships. If we could own our journey like a teenager looking for a ride, food, or money, if we keep that same energy in our daily lives, if we keep that same energy in the educational space, we show up looking to not just meet the expectation, but to exceed the expectation, you'll see a complete shift in your school culture. When I held the mirror up and I got real and honest about how have I really been showing up in my corporate job? Have I just been going through the motions and just doing what's in the job description? Have I just been doing what's asked of me? And when I answered that question with a real uncomfortable yes, now I can make the change. You have the power to make that change. No more placing blame. And as soon as I did that, as soon as I started implementing trainings to new employees and new hires, I'm producing more applications than what's asked, meeting with my boss, and I'm looking for ways to continue to add more value. I became the president of the Cultural Awareness Committee. On that next scorecard, you better believe I got exceeds expectations. You can't control the system, but you can be the change that you want to see. Own your journey. Stop placing blame. That's a mind over mountains mentality.